Hi, and welcome to Bloomberg Quinn. My name is Niraj Shah. With me is S. Kannan, and we're just trying to decode the price movement in the stock price of ICICI Prudential Life today, because as the chart suggests, it's got the largest fall since listing. Now, why has this happened, Kannan, is very interesting. Just put together a couple of pieces on the fundamental side on the results, because it's the results which have led to this fall today. So what's happened is that they've struggled to get the business going in the Q3. The annualized premium equivalent, which is essentially you normalize the premiums coming in, both single premiums and recurring premiums coming in for a life insurance company, into annual premiums. And that's a measure, without getting into the complications of how this is calculated, but it's a way to measure how the growth of a life insurance company is. And the APE, or the annualized premium equivalent, overall degrew about 4.2% on the back of slowdown in the ULIPs policy. So essentially, for ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, they seem to have faced an issue with some of the high net worth clients moving towards other products. They've opened up those products as well, but the company seems to be in a transitionary phase, and the growth numbers might take a while to show. But what all of this effectively did was that the APE numbers look weak. Now, Kannan, all insurance companies on a monthly basis report what the APE growth is like. So at the end of October, at the end of November, at the end of December, they mention about what the numbers would look like. So it's kind of predictable as to that the quarter would be weak, but the quantum of weakness has taken the analyst community by surprise. The pure protection business, which is the term insurance and the pure protection business, that has done very well. It's actually shown 100% growth. But the weakness in the others has been so stark that it's kind of negated the gains that come in from the pure protection business as well. And as a result of that, most brokerages, Kannan, have come out and expressed some bit of concern. But for Macquarie, almost every other brokerage has come out and expressed some concerns on how the growth numbers for ICICI Pru may look like, and therefore the near-term triggers are not there. There are valuations as well, which I'll get to. But fundamentally, remember that the numbers have looked a lot below estimates, which were anyways very, very low. Now, what has this done to the trading pattern today, Kannan?
Yeah, so we saw some of very interesting kind of trading pattern and build up in the option segment as well. So as you rightly mentioned, this is the largest single day intraday fall since the day of the listing. And if it managed to close at this level, this would be the largest end of day fall for iPru Life since the day of the listing, right? And the magnitude is also somewhere close to 11%, that we have seen at the day of the listing. And this is actually seen in the build-up in the option open interest as well. So this is a combined open interest of all three futures contracts put together for ICICI Prudential Life since start of this expiry. And as you see that the red line has jumped almost 80% today to record to a total cumulative open interest of 108%. So the open interest has actually jumped over 100% since the start of this expiry, along with the price correction of 6% since the start of the expiry. So the price fell 10% today, but if you see it on a monthly basis, from expiry to till now, it is 6%. So the magnitude of the rise in the open interest is still not reflected in the price, and that is very concerning because the price has already registered a single rate largest drop since 2016, and if the prices started to move to the magnitude of the shorts getting built up, we might see further fall on this counter, right? So I also wanted to show you this part. So this is actually the volume behavior pattern on the buy side and the sell side, right? So if I might zoom this, so the red line, as you see, is the cumulative volume since start of today that has transacted on the best bid or lower. And for iPru, from 9:30 to let's say till now, till noon, it's almost 44%.
Interesting.
This is much more bigger than what the cumulative volume on the bid and the ask side is, right? And if you see the volume pattern today on the cash equity side as well, so this is more than 34 times that we have registered.
Wow.
So both from the cash equity point of view plus from the futures point of view, we are seeing a huge short pressure on this counter. And as I said, right, the open interest has jumped over 100%, but the price on a expiry to till now basis is only down 6%.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of catch up to kind of go forward.
No, can I just point out that Kannan was making, and if I can just show this chart, the 1 month chart of ICICI Pru or the 6 month chart, there was an uptick in the stock price of ICICI Pru without there being any fundamental reasons, because as I said, the monthly AP growth numbers didn't give anything special. There's an uptick, and I think that is getting corrected in a meaningful way as well. And therefore the point that Kannan made. Now, very briefly, before we make this too long, just want to mark what brokerages have said, because I think that's the more important thing. What are the expert names talking about? So Macquarie, of course, believes that the business model is of this nature. It's a deeply cyclical stock, and with the capital market volatility, it has been affected disproportionately versus the peers. They are maintaining their target price at 415 rupees per share. This was before the stock fell, but anyway, their target price is 415 rupees per share. In fact, there is also Morgan Stanley, which the 12-month target price for Morgan Stanley is also 415. They believe that the biggest risk is the higher than expected weakness in the persistency ratio, because keep in mind that the persistency ratio for ICICI Pru 2 fell, the 13-month persistency ratio. The outer year's persistency ratio looked okay, but the 13-month persistency ratio fell. Morgan Stanley, however, maintains the target of 415. Nomura and the strongest words have come in from Jefferies, which seem to have downgraded the stock to underperform from a hold, and that they've cut the target price to 285 because they believe that the stock and the business is structurally weak and is missing some key triggers. The only key point that works in Kannan in the stock's favor is that the valuations are a very reasonable level. They're almost trading at half the valuations of HDFC Life. And purely on the valuation front, if they manage to show some recovery in the next couple of quarters, if they do, then the market might give it a bit of credit.
So do you see that, the ICICI market share moving to SBI Life, given the Ayushman Bharat scheme, moving towards the PSUs?
I think that's a difficult one to answer as well, to be honest. I'm not an insurance expert in that sense, but this is probably not a factor of that happening, but more a factor of how their business model is structured. The market volatility seems to have driven some of the high net worth clients, which are the backbone of ICICI Pru.
True.
So that may well be that, but maybe the quarters ahead could bring out that point as well.
Sure.
But let's wait and watch. So shorts in the system.
Shorts in the system. Yeah.
The price behavior not too great.
Not too great.
And fundamentally too.
And more pressure likely to come in.
Okay, that's the technical view too out there. But that's the verdict on ICICI Pru. For all who wanted to know why the stock is down 10%, we just tried to give a bit of analysis. Thanks so much for tuning in.